Grants Subcommittee, Tuesday, 16th of February. Just to let you know, this meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to the council's YouTube, Madam Clerk.
That's right, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Apologies for absence. Have we received any?
None received, Chairman.
Jeff, I think Jeff gave his.
Not actually on the committee.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought he was asking for a substitute.
Yeah, he's not on the committee, so he's keen.
He is very keen. My apologies then.
Declarations of interest. I have 3. Daisy's Dream and Young People and Children First. Welcome, John.
Hi there. Sorry, I'm late.
Daisy's Dream and Young People and Children First are both continuation of the Mayor's charities for this year. And there is also an application which we'll be looking at tonight, which is Whitelands Park Primary School. I am chair of directors of the Kennet Schools Academy Trust, which encompasses Whitelands as one of its primary schools. Any other declarations of interest?
Not for me.
That I'm the district councillor for Whitelands, and I haven't been involved in this bid. But actually, I think we may not be needed because I think they've got the funding already. But we'll obviously leave that
when we get to it.
Yes.
Rather than under declarations of interest. Okay, thank you. No other declarations of interest. Thank you. Minutes of last meeting. Minutes of last meeting, which are the meeting on held on the 16th of July. The one thing which Madam Clerk is, hi Jen, welcome. The one thing that Madam Clerk is about to pop up for us is the appendix that is mentioned in the minutes that you may not have had, which is purely and simply the criteria for issuing grants from the COVID fund. So coming up in front of you are the criteria for allocation, just for you to look at before we confirm the the minutes as it forms an appendix.
I propose that the minutes are a true and accurate record.
Thank you. Does that find a seconder? Jen, thank you. Those in favour of confirming acts accurate, please. Thank you. Right, revenue grant applications. The first item A, noting that the remaining budget is £12,000, eligible for match funding from Greenham Common, and everything that we have in front of us tonight is, I understand, unless Madam Clerk is going to correct me, eligible for the match funding from Greenham because it is via the good exchange. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
That's correct, Chairman.
Thank you. Okay. Therefore, we will go on to the large appendix which you have, which is the initial report of applications with a connection to Thatcham. How I propose to deal with this tonight is we will go through each of the particular items and decide whether we would wish to place them in category A, which would be we would give them the amount that they are seeking in full. Category B, which is we are supportive of them and which would wish to support if we can, but not necessarily at the amount that's being requested. You'll note that some of the amounts are 33,000, which clearly we couldn't do. Or item C, where for any reason, either that we have already given a grant to them, that they are ineligible for a grant from a town council, or alternatively that there is no benefit to Thatcham residents that is perceived. So category C would be that we would not seek to give a grant to them. What we will then do after we have categorised them as A, B or C, Madam Clerk and Madam Deputy Clerk will make a record of the ones that we have in category A or B. Any in category A, we will then top up and take that off the £12,000 that is available. And then any in category B, we will play around with until we are satisfied with the amount that we are giving in total. Again, I'll just get Madam Clerk to correct me if I'm wrong, but this being the February meeting of the committee, the financial year ends on the 31st of March. We don't have another meeting between now and the end of the financial year. So if we, I mean, it's up to the committee obviously to decide what it wishes to do. But if we did not allocate any of the £12,000 that we have available to us tonight, then that would not then be allocated within this financial year. As I say, totally down to the committee whether it wishes to or not. I would suggest perhaps probably in the current environment with charities struggling, that we have it in the budget, and it would be, if there are eligible and suitable people or organisations, I would be fairly strongly suggesting that we would be allocating the full £12,000. But that obviously is down to committee to decide as we come through the process. Right. We will crack on. Some of these we have on the email that Madam Clerk sent out today, the email of 11:28 a.m. We have some more of the actual supporting documentation for the applications that we can go through if we need further information. Right. On the form itself, actually, I've talked enough. Madam Clerk, could you just go through the form, specifically the total cost of project balance and the implications of the match funding from Greenham Parish, from Greenham Trust, please?
Yes, Chairman. Yes, so on the spreadsheet that's been provided, you have the total cost of the project, and that is the full project cost. So to carry out that project, that's the total funding that they need. The balance has taken into account any fundraising that they've already done and any funds that have been allocated either through the Good Exchange or outside sources. So the balance is what that project needs to now be fulfilled. The Town Council has a matched funding agreement with Greenham Trust, so every £1 that the Town Council allocates is match funded as £1 from Greenham Trust. Yes, so the summary of the applications is provided, and I do have the summary sheet as well to share on the screen, which gives a little bit more detail on each application as we go through.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Therefore, the implication is the balance column that the charities or organisations are seeking. I'll take the updated figure for Thatcham Methodist Church, for example, as the first item on the spreadsheet. The balance now is £2,200. Therefore, if we were to grant £1,100 to that particular project, that would be match funded by Greenham, and that would achieve the 2,200. So in other words, if we get to a position where we wish to fully fund the balance of a project, we only have to actually find half the balance that is shown on the spreadsheet. Is that clear as mud, Jeremy?
Yeah.
There are two items. Are we going to take for
No, can we just deal with the balance?
No, I'm
first?
just,
Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
What I'm
Yes,
saying? Right. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Right. We will now go on to the actual items themselves. The first one is Thatcham Methodist Church, as as Jeremy intimated, there are two items on there. We can look at them individually, or we can look at whichever one we would prefer to support, or of course neither. Madam Clerk, can you just go through though the little grey area that we have as a town council with funding churches, because it
Absolutely,
might
Chairman.
affect the first item.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the town council is not permitted to fund maintenance or improvements to a church building. However, in this application, it makes it clear that this boiler that's required is to heat the Methodist Hall, which is a separate area from the church building. And the hall is for community use rather than the church use, and therefore my advice is that it is eligible for town council funding as a community asset, as a public hall.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Appreciate that.
I can confirm that that is the case. I've been there on several occasions, and they are quite separate from the actual church premises. Though we have actually used halls there for youth services, group meetings and things like that.
Okay, thank you for that. Sorry, apologies. I'm just going to close this down. It keeps binging at me. Right, thank you. Right, we will go through then. I'll take these individually because there may be some that we would wish to support and some for whatever reason that we would not wish to support. So Thatcham Methodist Church, the upgrading of the central heating boiler. Three choices to remind committee are A, B or C. A, fund in full. B, that we would like to support, but we'll find out what we have available to us when we get to the end of the process. Or C, we would consider that it's not something that we would wish to support. Views on the first Thatcham Methodist Church one, the boiler. Any views from anyone? Richard?
Yes, can I say item B, I would suggest with the church, or sorry, the Methodist central heating boiler, item B for me.
Any, Jeremy?
Yeah, agreed. B.
Yeah, John, Jen, B. Thank you. The church's older people activity bags. Madam Clerk, do we have anything from the Methodist Church on this particular line that you might be able to share with us? I couldn't find an actual, oh, sorry, apologies, it's right down the bottom. I've got it. Oh no, it's the boiler rooms. Right, just give everyone an opportunity to read through that. Everyone had the opportunity to get the gist of that?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
So we are looking here at £414 remaining project cost. Therefore, if we were minded to give £207, 42.5p, then that would fund the project in full. Any views on A, B, or C, Jeremy?
Yes, I think B, but I mean, this is spread out over several communities, so I don't think we'd be in the position of, pro rata, dividing where maybe the largest section of those in reception of the populations of Hungerford and the other villages are significantly smaller now. So B, but not necessarily half, but a proportion.
But can I
defer from B? Yeah, Richard.
I'd say C. I think first of all we're already likely to make a a request in respect to the boiler. This is for Westmarks in its entirety, not quite so good. So for me, I would say a C.
Okay, Jen, John, any views?
I'm actually here as an observer.
Oh, right. Oh,
I'm
yes,
not on the
sorry.
committee. Anyway,
Yeah,
Paul
Apologies.
Field is
Yes,
the
you're
other
not.
member.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Apologies. Yeah, yeah.
Can I say C? C as well, please?
Yes, C.
So we have B and two C's. So we will make that a C. Thank you. Sue Ryder. Again, any addition that we might have on this one you can share with us, please, Mel? Okay, so just defibrillator for use at West Berkshire Community Hospital. Again, views, please.
Can
Richard?
I say it's a service open to all, and so it's not just for Thatcham residents. So with that in mind, I would say C.
It's our local hospital. You know, it's right adjoining to us, and it's a defibrillator. So anybody walking in there, to me personally, it's an A.
I would probably compromise on a B for the time being, bearing in mind that what
Okay, I'm happy to go with B.
Richard
I'm happy to
said.
go
Are
with
we
B.
happy to go with B, Jen?
B,
Jeremy?
please. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeremy,
I'm
would
happy
you like
with that if that's the committee's view.
B? Okay, thank you. Greenham Common Control Tower. We have two here. Committee will recall that we did give £250 last time in July to the control tower. So this first one is the 40th anniversary of Greenham Peace Women. Again, we'll just give a couple of seconds for people to get the gist of this one. Of course, the various activities, assuming that we will, they will be able to undertake the activities at the time, which hopefully they will. Any views on this one, the 40th anniversary Greenham Peace Women? Any views on that?
I would
Richard?
say C. I think it lacks any close affinity with Thatcham, and the whole peace movement was really a countrywide one, nothing to do with Thatcham. So I say C.
Any views?
Can I go with B, please?
B.
These are very large amounts, and I couldn't see us going to, and it's not really COVID related, which is something.
No, sorry. I should have made it clear. This is not COVID related now.
No.
The COVID related was the £5,000 that we allocated specifically last time.
Yeah.
To solely COVID related. So this is general rather than COVID related. The £250 we gave, I can't remember what it was for, but it was something that was definitely COVID related.
I just don't think we can make much of an impression on this. They're such huge sums, and they're for events, not for long-term investment in.
So
in the tower.
you're thinking C? You're thinking C,
Yes,
Jeremy?
I do.
Yeah, I must admit I'm thinking C as well. So that's three C's and a B. So we'll have that as a C. The specific funding for the control tower, again, large amounts. Any? Oh, sorry. Any views on this one?
I usually see the money we're giving out to help charities helping the poor, the dispossessed, the inarticulate, Greenham Control Tower. I mean, it's great. I've been there, but they've got a cafe. They can get money themselves. I don't see this as anything other than a C for me.
Jen, any views?
After you, Jen.
Hi. Due to the sum, I do agree probably on C, actually.
Well, yeah, it is a facility that I believe is used by Thatcham residents. I, for one, go there.
Use it myself.
Yes. So again, it's large sums, and we can't make much of a difference in this type of scale. But I would still favour a B, I think.
Certainly wavering towards a B for obviously a small contribution. So that's
Yeah,
two
not
Bs
large.
and a C. So I will work on the basis if there's two Bs and a C that it goes in as a B, because we can always throw it out later.
We
Yeah.
can.
Okay.
Community baby bank.
I've seen a lot of them on social media. They're very active
Very.
Doing what?
in providing for families.
Quick read through the documentation in front of you.
Minor items like, vouchers and, for food or for nappies and things like this. And from what we've heard from, the food banks and things like this, these type of things are needed. So I'm very sympathetic to this.
Yeah.
Mummy, look at this little bad boy.
So
I either A or B, but I would suggest, given the amounts involved, we'd probably want to do potentially a B at this stage, and then visit the actual amount.
Because they've got two, haven't they? The first one, which is 650, we could do an A. That would only be 325 for us.
Yeah.
And we could make a big difference.
Yeah. Does that?
Our money gets something done, rather than just being a small part of a very big pot. So I'd go A on that one.
Don't forget they can apply well, we could take both of them together and both a B, and then consider later what to give. How about both being a B?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I'll agree with that. Both Bs.
Whiteness Park Primary School. Jeremy, you were sorry.
Yeah.
You were talking.
I've been working with them, with the head teacher and the Greenham Trust. As a district councillor, I was given £1,000 for COVID projects. I spoke to the head teacher there, and I've allocated my sum of £1,000, and that has been matched by Greenham Trust. So I believe they're fully funded on this.
Right.
It was for 50 tablets. That's my leg.
Proposing a C on that one?
Yes, I don't think they need it.
Right, unless anyone has any other views, but taking Jeremy's knowledge into account.
C, all right for me.
C.
It's looked after. I wouldn't say that otherwise.
Corn Exchange. The next one. For me, this one does obviously impact to a certain extent Thatcham, but Corn Exchange do tend to be rather Newbury centric. They've never, to my certain knowledge, done anything in Thatcham.
No, I agree. This is a project for Newbury. I don't really see how many people, especially in these times, are going to be able to travel for anything. You don't see them promoting it here or even having any of their activities here. So I'd go C.
I would go C as well. I don't see it as helping the poor and the needy, the sort of people I'd like to help.
I would go C as well, which gives us 3 C's. Jen,
C.
Say.
definite C then. Guide talks from the Blind Association. Give a couple of minutes to read through this one.
Do I take from the information on the sheet there are 3 people concerned from Thatcham that this would affect directly?
Correct,
Thank you.
Councillor Cottam.
Obviously, large amount. We might consider doing a nominal amount.
If you take 20%, if you take 20% of that, that's about, or is it about 1,500? No, sorry.
10% would be
the total including match funding would be about, well, just under 16,000, 15,750, something like that.
3 out of 15, I was thinking. You know, in terms of percentage.
I think that would probably take an awful lot of our budget in one hit.
No, I'm not even. No, I'm just saying. I'm looking.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just figuring that 20% of that would apply to our local area. But no, I mean, I have great sympathy. My daughter gets involved in helping look after these retired dogs, and obviously, it would be nice if we could help them a little. But it's not not my, or as a councillor, priority. I think they do pretty well on
proposing a B as a smaller, nominal sum.
A nominal sum, because obviously it does have a benefit to Thatcham directly for those 3.
Yeah. So we went for B. Is
most
that
benefit is West Berkshire wide, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
if we went for a B for a smaller sum, does that find
support? B
support?
for a small sum. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Home Start West Berkshire. We have 4 projects in here. Again, give chance for everyone to read through this one first.
Through you, Chair, could I ask this 30, how many out of, is that of, what percentage of the total would 30 represent? Do we have any idea?
I don't have that detail, Councillor Cottam, I'm afraid, but it is 30 Thatcham families, but they haven't provided their total number, I'm afraid.
My memory of this, and it is a memory from when I went to their AGM last year, not although the 2019/20 AGM rather than the 2021 AGM, which was done on Zoom, which I couldn't get to. The amounts were pretty much in pro rata with the population. So we're about, say, 30,000 out of 150,000 population in West Berkshire. So we are round about a fifth of the population, and the people that they were helping were roughly in proportion. So that 30 probably represents about a fifth.
So about 20% again. I mean, these are fantastically worthy opportunities for us to support, but just a little bit concerning about the size of them. Obviously, I don't think we could do A, but I'm an enthusiastic B.
I would support that. Any other views?
Can I suggest a B, because we've got 4 items for Home Start, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all benefiting 30 Thatcham residents. Perhaps you could have B for those 4 items, and
So
then
if we do a B, and then we can decide later the amounts and which ones we would support. Jen's nodding, so I'll take it as a yay. Young people and children first. I'll stay quiet on this one, as they are one of my charities and therefore clearly one that I'm fairly keen on.
Well, looking at that quickly, they have 2 houses in Thatcham and a third being acquired in 3 months. I mean, again, we couldn't do the whole amount, but again, an enthusiastic B.
yes, I agree with that. I'd go with a B for children and young people.
Jen, happy?
Yeah, agreed as well. B.
Thank you. Newbury Community Resource Centre. Okay, any views on this one?
This I think it seems very, very worthy from what I've read, but I'm sure we can make a contribution. I suppose my feeling is a B for this one.
Okay. Any supporting or other views on that? I'd certainly, I know through the Thatcham Relief in Need, we have referred people to this organisation before when people want essential household goods. So I would certainly be supportive of a B.
More helpful if they gave us a little bit more area-related information. Maybe next time. Of course, we're just taking these straight off the Greenham's site, is it? I mean, we don't get any more details.
No, I mean there is a. We do have the option of at the end of this meeting. Excuse me, at the end of this meeting, holding a further meeting and holding some of the budget over till we can have such a meeting where we would ask organisations to come and talk to us and give us further information where we don't know anything about the organisation. In this case, I do know something about this organisation and what it does. So I'm happy that it's worthy.
Okay.
I always feel that getting people to come along and put their case fine, possibly if we're in a situation where we have got perceived demand of about 25,000 and only 12,000 to give, then we might well need further information and a pitch. But we do have that option at the end of this meeting if we so wish.
Well, based on your experience, so it's a definite B. Maybe we could consider that they come back to us. It would be nice for future reference, because I'm sure they would come back again. It would just help us deliberate, and because we are Thatcham Town Council, we're focusing on the benefits for our local peoples, and we could easily use the 20% rule here, but they might be more focused here from what you say. So definitely a B.
I don't think they're specifically Thatcham.
No, I know. Not for the total, of course.
I think with this one, given the level of level of relative need in Thatcham, given compared to other more affluent parts of West Berkshire, I would imagine that is probably more than the 20%. I would imagine that's sort of 25-30%.
I agree. I think you're quite right there, Mike. Yes, definitely.
Oh, is that a B then?
Yes.
I would say B if that finds favour with everyone.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll go along with the B.
Swings and Smiles, obviously we know, based in Thatcham. Is there anything we have from them, Madam Clerk? Thank you. Is there any more we can scroll up to now?
That's it,
No,
Chairman.
that's it. Okay, thank you. Obviously, many of us know Swings and Smiles from our activities around Thatcham. Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, looking for, they're saying this is a local facility. They're actually going to be doing a sensory garden, I take it, on their grounds. So, I mean, I think this would be a huge benefit to obviously the families within Thatcham. So again, it's a large sum, so I can't go A, but certainly an enthusiastic B again.
My impression is that they are one way or another very well funded, and I think I would go a C, bearing in mind the limited sum we've got and the numbers of those who are seeking funds. So it'd be a C for me.
Okay, thank you. I would certainly go B, Jen.
B, please.
B, okay. Majority on a B. Education Business Partnership, West Berkshire. We see some specific information about Kennet School. Sorry, I have to declare an interest on this item as well, for the same reason as Whitelands. The additional information on the spreadsheet that we have, which I'll read out probably easiest. If Thatcham Town Council were able to support the programme with some funding, we would ensure it was utilised to deliver to Thatcham residents within the relevant schools.
If I could come in, and Mr. Mayor, to me,
Yeah,
this is
please.
quite wide ranging. I mean, it's Education and Business Partnership, West Berkshire. We have a modest sum to give out. I'd like to see it go to the poor and the needy. I mean, I'm sure this is incredibly worthy, but I don't think it would fall within the criteria of those that I would seek to benefit. So for me, this would be a C. Bear in mind, we've only got £12,000 to give out. For me, a C.
Thank you. Any, Jeremy?
Yeah, I can understand that approach, but I takes my memory back to, was it the girl, not Girl Guides, the brownies?
Yeah, it was the brownies who came with their they were getting girls
robots.
involved in
Yes.
science.
And I think there was huge interest by the whole council in that. This is specifically aimed at, normally I wouldn't be looking to prop up any educational issues here because obviously that's more the West Berkshire area. And I do see Richard's point on that. But this is something that is so critically important to our country. And maybe I'm going out of the bounds of a town council, but this is to encourage girls into science and technology. And it's an area that's so important. that even if we could do a little to help it, like we did those brownies with their robots, to encourage girls into science and technology. You know, I declare an interest being an engineer trained. So I would say a B, you know, in proportion to what we may have be able to give.
Express a view, bearing in mind my very close links with Kennett. Jen, any view?
I would have to agree on B as well. B.
Noting Richard's comment on perhaps how enthusiastic overall the committee is on that particular one. And then the second one is Inspiring Future Scientists program. So I guess not dissimilar initiative, but not necessarily encouraging girls in science. This, I guess, is more general.
Yeah. Personally, I think it's too general for me. So I'd be a little bit miserly here and go for a C. Go for a C this time.
I would agree a C as well.
Yeah, I would certainly,
the whole of West Berks.
Certainly agree with that, Jen. Yeah, C, right, thank you. Time to talk West Berkshire. Obviously, mental health of the young being something that is very much on the agenda and in the news. Just give a couple of seconds for us to be able to read through this one. If everyone has the gist of that, any views on this one?
Well, following on from what I've said before about wanting to help the desperate, the poor, and the needy, I don't think this falls within that my criteria. So I would say this should be a C, and also, of course, it's West Berkshire benefiting maybe a lot of people outside Thatcham, although they say it's 60. But anyway, for me, a C.
Sorry, Richard, a C. So not.
That's me.
Not help. Not help.
I dove into.
Sorry. Just clarify. There seemed to be a mismatch between you saying you wanted to support the people struggling and having a C, because I would view mental health as being one of the strongest criteria. So much for my money, it would be a B. But yeah, sorry, I was just clarifying what you
sure.
were.
No, sorry, I interrupted. Apologies.
Yeah,
I mean, I delved into this because it is. Richard's right. We need to look very carefully. But if you go into the background papers of this, as you say, it goes into great detail about mental health, and we hear a lot about that. I mean, it's a hidden problem which we don't see so much, and they're talking about disability and medical care. And they're talking about therapy and counselling within that, and disadvantaged youth. So, and they're saying that this is a Thatcham outreach project. Okay, if it was, I would agree with Richard. If this was another West Berkshire wide one, I don't think it would be appropriate. But digging into it, again, it's the large sums that. Do put you off a little bit because you can only be a small part. But in this, I think it's an important small part. And in a way, it's actually just saying, yes, we do support you, and here's something we can afford to give. So I'd go with a B on that one.
Any view?
B for me.
I would personally, mental health is, especially mental health for the young, is something I can see being a huge problem, and I see it obviously through the schools at the moment, and the issues that are starting to come there. I think health and well-being is not just having a bed for the night. I think it goes wider than that. So definitely for me a B on that one. 8 bells for mental health.
Mike,
We could
is there any
scroll
more?
up slightly. Yeah,
Is
sorry.
there any
Carry on.
more history about this? I mean, what type of organisation it is, and is it a registered charity? 8 Bells sounds like it's part of a pub, but I'm sure that's not.
Yeah, it is. It is a
Company limited by guarantee.
Effectively, it is a charitable organisation.
Well, it hasn't got a charity number.
No charity number.
To me, I would need more information on this before I could even look at a B.
Okay.
I wouldn't like to arbitrarily say C, but unless that depends how you feel. But I know nothing of them.
Yeah, it's an organisation I know. They were going to actually, believe it or not, provide the canapes at the mayor's reception, which never took place last year, because I do know of them. Steve Masters, one of the district councillors, was the chairman up until very recently.
Yeah, he stood down, didn't he? Yes.
And I did have discussions with him. I think he did it for 3 years. I think most chairmen, 3 years is about the limit that you want. So I do know of them, and I do know that they do good work, but I couldn't tell you exactly in detail how they're set up, what they actually physically do. I know they've been moving far more towards telephone support rather than face-to-face support, obviously, given the situation we've been in for the last year. For me, it would be a B, but I'm more than happy to accept that we would need further information.
I would support you. I mean, I'd be giving it C if it wasn't, because I'm not really comfortable giving. We know of them, but we don't know their ethos or what they're doing.
Could I suggest then, for the purposes of this evening's meeting, sorry, John first.
I was just going to step in and say that during my term as mayor, I'd been along to a couple of functions that they organised. They had an art exhibition on one occasion. The buildings that it was held in have now been flattened. It's behind what used to be the bus station. There were a row of buildings, houses and things along there. They had a place in there. So I know that they've been running for quite a long time, and I have been along to a couple of functions that they've run. And it is very much for the people with mental disabilities, mental health issues, and they just support a whole wide group of young people and older people too.
Okay, thank you. That really helps, John.
That sounds a good recommendation. So shall we say a B? I go
Yeah,
a B.
let's go for a B then. Yeah.
Certainly, I would personally be enthusiastic B on that one, as I would on the Time to Talk West Berkshire. Kennet District Gymnastics Centre, Save Your Gym. KD Gymnastics. Can we just scroll up, Mel, to see where they're based, whether they're at in Thatcham or whether they're in Newbury?
That they're actually off of Bone Lane. They're just on Bone Lane, I believe. I don't think it's recorded in here. But
Yeah, I do know of KD Gymnastics. Katie used to go there.
They say it takes place in Newbury there. Just you go up.
Yeah, it's just round. Yeah, it's just round the corner from Downs Carpets, opposite the where they have that storage used store or something. But yeah, it's in an industrial unit. I'll tell you what, right next door to it is the car wash, and there's a car sales place right on the corner there as well.
Community furniture project.
They're behind the community furniture project.
They do say 60% of their membership is Thatcham based. For me, this is probably not as high a priority as some of the other ones that we've got in front of us.
I agree with that. Because generally, in the normal times, they'd be self-funding, wouldn't they? By charging fees for customers and clients who come along. I would suggest paying out. Bear in mind, we've only got 12,000 to give. This be a C.
I'd say C too.
Yeah. Okay. Go for a C on that one. Parents for Active Learning. Sorry, Parents for Active Leisure Scheme, PALS. Do we have anything there? Thank you. They're saying a third of their membership is Thatcham based. Any views on this one?
Bear in mind what the money we've got and the number of bees we've got already. This doesn't ring all the bells for me to justify a B. I'm afraid I would say a C.
Does it? Do you know, Michael, John? Have you heard of them in your
I have
services,
not.
Mayor? I've not heard of them.
I've heard of the name. I've not actually seen what they do.
No, I mean,
so apart from hearing the name, it's not something that's been on my radar.
Okay, and then I support Richard and say C.
Jen, agree with C? C, yeah. It's the sign for Coca-Cola, I seem to remember, or coffee. Right, Daisy's Dream here again. This is one of my charities. Obviously, Daisy's Dream is a West Berkshire charity. Clearly, it's one that I'm supportive of. I know they were very supportive to Marcus Franks, his family, when Marcus was unfortunately taken from us. But they are across Berkshire. They're not even just West Berkshire. They are wider. And obviously my capacity for fundraising this year has been severely impaired, but they did have 1,700 from the Mayor's charity for last year's fundraising, which was given to them late last year.
I would say they're well known to us. We know what great work they do. A definite B.
Yes, I agree. I'd go with a B.
100% B for me.
Cruise bereavement care.
Aggressively deletes. Aggressively delete.
Oh, so sad.
Okay, I say service open to all. Do we have any hints with this? Presumably, are they West Berkshire based
They're a
or
national organisation, Cruise. Yeah, they cover the whole of the south of England by the looks of it there.
Look at that, yeah.
And they seem to have very good support from housing associations. I think there's, without a lot of great more detail, I'm sorry, I don't feel they need our help. It's an important
see
issue.
on the basis of the fact that we are a small town.
Yes, definitely, because
Okay.
they're very
Does that
widespread.
Does that find?
We're supporting them. We're supporting Daisy's Dream, which covers similar scope. So I would say for this one a C.
Happy with C, Jen?
C.
Yeah. Okay. And lastly, but by no means leastly, I suppose Richard and I probably have to declare an interest. Age UK Berkshire.
Thank you.
The thing I love about this is it's a pen pal scheme rather than an email scheme. I can relate to pen pals. I had one in France when I was a youngster.
Is this based on Thatcham? Do we know? It's quite a small sum.
Did we have anything, Mel? We say that it was a weighted response as to how many people in Thatcham this would cover. Did we ever get anything from them?
We did, Chairman. So in the updated spreadsheet, their response was, we are currently supporting around 20 Thatcham residents on a regular basis, usually weekly, with our services including help with shopping, money, help around the home and befriending. Last year, we supported a further 53 Thatcham residents with our information and advice service, with queries ranging from support with benefits, scams, paying for care, and help filling in forms, including blue badges.
Absolutely essential, I'd say, Chair. Big A. £455.
Well known, aren't they? They've been around for a while, so yeah. I'd say a B.
We would go with an enthusiastic B.
A for me, please.
A. In that case, we have an A.
We need one.
We will go with an A with that one. Right. Okay. Well, I think we have, and hopefully, Mel and Trudy, you're keeping up with what we've actually said on these ones. I've been trying to do as we go through. I think there's only one that we're actually saying an A on first time round, which is the last one.
Yep.
I believe, which is going to be £227, £230.
Make it a round figure.
50%, because then Greenham Common reaches the rest, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Two.
Well, if we went 225, then that gives it all bar a few pence. So yeah, if we can pop 225 in that one.
Just popping in the C's, Chairman. Just bear
sorry,
with me
right,
one
sorry.
moment.
Yep.
Reggie. meeting.
Okay, that's all the C's.
Lovely. Now, we had some
Careful there, he's done a little accent.
enthusiastic Bs and we had some ordinary Bs. The enthusiastic Bs that I noted, because one of the things hang on, I'll retrench. One of the things we could do is take the A off the £12,000, take the remaining Bs and give them an equal amount each. We could say which ones we would say were enthusiastic Bs. And so I've got 3 noted, but I think there were others. And give the enthusiastic Bs slightly more than the ordinary Bs. Any thoughts on that?
Could be
can I just come in?
complicated.
Well, it's a lot easier than going through them individually and saying
No.
100, 250, and then
No.
having to go back and revisit it 15 times.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying separating out even the enthusiastic Bs might make it a little complex.
What about Home Start? There are 4 items for Home Start. I guess if I was in their shoes, I might think it a good idea to put in 4 little applications rather than 1 big one. I might get more funds in that way. Well, that's fair enough for them. Would we, for instance, with Home Start, treat them as a 1 application or maybe 2?
Me, I would say 1.
As 1.
In that,
Okay,
in
well,
that we would be giving the organisation the money.
okay, I'm comfortable with that.
Mike, I think your first suggestion of just dividing it amongst them would be the easiest.
Right.
That'd be the easiest.
Okay, if Madam Clerk might be able to do the maths on that one quickly, we can see how many Bs we've got and how much we would be giving them.
Just some reason it's not picking up the calculations. So the number of Bs is
14, isn't it?
17, Chairman.
That's Bs for,
I've only got
example,
14.
we said a B for both of the Methodist.
No, one of the Methodist was the C, Chairman.
B, right,
Yes.
okay.
Well, I've counted them up as 14, excluding the A, but I'm treating Home Start as 1B. So I make it 14. But
Are we happy with the principle of treating an organisation as we will give 1 grant to them?
I think that's right.
I would certainly view that as sensible, but
Yes.
any other views?
No.
I
Right.
agree with that. Yes,
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, agreed.
So can you just confirm, Mel, just to double check Richard's figure that we've got on that basis, 14? Give you a couple of seconds to do that. Apologies, that's so small on my screen here, and my glasses are
14.
just a year out of when I should have had an eye test, that I can't actually see the darn screen properly.
Chairman, I've just recorded against each individual application.
Right. Okay.
About £700 each, isn't it?
So yeah, we'll just get the maths. So we've got Methodist Church. We have Sue Ryder. We have Greenham Control Tower. Was that a C? Was that a B?
No, I've got that as a B. Green and
What
control.
one was a C and one was a B, Chairman.
Yeah, the events we gave a C, the other one we gave a B.
B, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one B.
West Berkshire Baby Bank was a B.
Yep, that was a yeah.
Whitelands was a C. Corn Exchange was a C. Guide Dogs of the Blind was a B.
Mm.
Homestart West Berkshire in Toto was a B.
A.
Young People and Children First was a B.
B.
Community Resource Centre was a B.
A. Things and Smiles.
Smiles was an enthusiastic B. Education Business Partnership was a B.
B.
Time to Talk West Berkshire was a B.
B.
8 Bells for Mental Health was a B. Enthusiastic B from some. Daisy's Dream was a B. So
That's
the
it.
B's I have for organisations were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 I've got.
Only move until I get that to a high percentage.
Are there any others that you had as down as a B, Richard? Because I make 13 rather than 14.
No, I agree with your 13. Now, there was one, I think, where I was doubling up wrongly.
So if we take 12,000 minus, was it
227.94.
228 to make it easier, divided by 13 gives £905 per organisation. I think there are some where they're actually
Asking for less, aren't they?
potentially asking for less than that. So if we maybe go down those, Sue Ryder,
Sue
for
Ryder was
example,
624.
so that's 312. Maybe we can populate that now. Okay, thank you. The other ones,
West Berkshire Community Bank, the top one.
650.
650. So if we can populate, what, 325 into that one. So that now gives us 11 organisations. And is that picking up, Mel, how much we've got left? Right, so populating those, we now have 11 organisations out of the 13 we started with, having taken those 2 off. Correct me if I'm wrong at any stage, please. And we have 11,135, which rather neatly comes out at 1,000 per organisation.
That sounds quite reasonable to me.
Mm.
Gives Methodist Church 1,000 towards their 1,100 that they would need. Are there any that you can look on the list and say we would prefer to give them slightly more or slightly less, or are we happy with 1,000 across the board to each of the Bs?
I think it's a good significant sum for all of them. I think they'd all be very pleased to receive that. I think adjusting it by 100 or 2 each, either way, is not going to make a huge difference. Difficult to actually dig down and find out how we could improve it. I think it would take a lot more effort and time than we've got here today.
Chairman, can I just seek some clarity? Because when we upload these applications, we have to upload them to individual applications. So when we upload the awards. So which of the 2 baby bank did you want to receive the 300? Is that against the 18590 and no award to 18457?
So yes, we'd done the baby bank at 325.
That's one half of 650.
Yeah. So perhaps if we upload 675 against the other one, the other baby bank one.
Yep.
So what does that give us? Sorry, Mel, down the bottom now. That's probably going to take us down below the £1,000 per organisation, isn't it?
I'll just skim through and put 1,000 against the rest, and no, that's going to be 250 each then, isn't it? No.
Guide dogs for the blind, I think, would still be the 1,000, wouldn't it?
Yes, got my lines obscured there. So. So we've got 2 education, so 1,000 on.
I personally speaking,
one.
I think the enthusiasm was for the first one, which was the encouraging
yes,
girls, the secondary science spotlight program.
definitely.
So £460 and 16 pence left.
With the West Berkshire Community Bank, the 2 of them, the bottom one, what we're giving 650, is that too much? No, to 675, because if Green and Comma, they match funding, so if we give them half they're looking for, they'll match the other half. Is that right?
Yeah,
that's correct.
So we got the 325 in the one which is the 650,
and the one below they're asking for 1,002.
Yeah, and then we've got 675. So we got the balance of the 1,000.
That's right. Yeah.
That goes in the other line. So we have another 406.
621.
Well, just with that amendment.
Well, there were some which I had down as B pluses. So. Which was Swings and Smiles, I believe.
Yeah, the local.
Can we add another maybe 100 there, or?
Eight Bells, I believe. Daisy's Dream, I believe. Were there any other enthusiastic bees higher up than Swings and Smiles? Because I didn't make a note of the enthusiastic bees.
Not Swings and Smiles. Young children.
Time to talk.
Children
An enthusiastic one from me.
Yeah. Oh, Trudy, have you?
Yeah,
sorry.
Mel, on the spreadsheet for Home Start West Berkshire, you've got 250 against all of them, but one of those is £111.45.
Oh.
So we only need to give half of that, don't we?
Tell you what.
£55.
Okay, that'll give us a little bit more in the pot. So yeah, I've got three enthusiastic bees, which were Swings and Smiles, 8 Bells for Mental Health, and Daisy's Dream. Time to Talk West Berkshire, I personally would say would be an enthusiastic bee for me.
Please.
So if we were to split that £815, so we've got 4 organisations there that we had an enthusiastic bee against. If we give them another £200 each, gives us 15.
Okay, so that was 8 bells.
So I had
to
8
talk.
bells for mental health.
Time to talk.
Time to talk, West Berkshire. Daisy's Dream. And Swings and Smiles.
2 are very worthy long-term partners.
So that, well, that's the 12,000 all bar
£15.
all bar 15 quid.
I think those 4 were deserving of the extra 200. You know, it's not just a what shall we do. I mean, they were obviously, you know, close to our heart because they got a B+.
Okay, if we are happy with that, unless we want to put the 15 quid somewhere.
No, I'm happy with that.
Roll it over.
Yeah, we'll roll it over into next year. Okay, are we happy with that as the?
Yes, happy.
Do we need to propose and vote on that?
We do indeed.
So I propose.
Lovely, thank you. Does that find a seconder, Richard? Thank you. Those in favour of that split, all in favour. Thank you. We don't need a follow-up meeting. I don't believe, unless you can think of any reason why we need one, Mel. We've allocated the available funds. Personally, I'm exceptionally pleased with the ones that we have allocated.
Indeed, I think it's going to do a lot of good. Very pleasing.
All worthy and deserving.
Very worthwhile.
Unless there is anything else under item 4 that Mel or Trudy that you can think of we need to consider.
Nothing from me, Chairman.
Thank you ever so much, everybody, for the input and consideration. Meeting closed. Thank you ever so much.
Well chaired. Good evening. Good night.
Night.
Bye.